Hello, family. This is High Priestess Key back to do the 7 and 8 of the universal laws. So I'm trying to get through these as quickly as possible so we can get to going on the readings and the other things that we want to tap into, such as our numerology and so forth. All right, life path, numbers, and so forth. Right. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. I appreciate you for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe. I am getting into the universal laws in the spiritual astrology, so it lets you know which zodiac is connected to the universal law, and that is how I definitely will be doing my readings over here. The ancestor cards is what I'll be using. I don't use tarot cards. These are cards that I created myself and my ancestors together, and that'll be the form of divination in other ways as well, such as throwing knuckle bones and also just using numerology with no cards. All right. So just multiple ways of me divinating over here. Okay. Now, the first universal law I want to talk about is the seventh universal law, which is the law of cause and effect. Now, with this one, this definitely is one that I always speak about, I always gravitate to, and I do because I feel it is true. And to me as well, okay. But and what I live by. But it is the law of cause and effect. Okay, so the law of cause and effect, which what equals karma, right? Which everybody knows. But karma also has its own specific laws that we'll talk about at a later date as well. Also, let me tell you, I'll get more into detail with the universal laws. I just brush over it in these videos. I get more into detail with the spiritual astrology as well as the universal laws over on my Patreon. I'm on Patreon under All in the Cards, ALLNDAKARDS, All in the Cards. All right. Now, back to the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect is definitely a law that you want to know and live by, okay? You give back what you send into the universe, family, okay? That's what the law of cause and effect is all about. Now, the law of cause and effect is relatively straightforward, okay? The actions and the things and the events and everything that you put energy wise out into the universe is going to come back to you. How you can apply that is you have to trust that every action that you put out is good or bad, or the reaction of it. Okay. So what you put out there is basically your vibrations, right? So your vibrations is what will elevate, right? Either in having high vibrational energy that'll bring good karma back to you, or low vibrational energy that you put out and that'll bring low vibrational things to you. So it's all in reference of what you put out. Now, in reference of also the law of cause and effect that I want you guys to know is Aries is connected to the law of cause and effect, which is karma. So what's connected to Aries is all about, Aries is a fire sign. So they're the go-getters. They're the ones that's always, trying to do things, trying to cause things. But sometimes the things that they cause can create a negative effect. Okay. And also the ancestors also want you to know that with the law of cause and effect being karma, it's also connected to the Aries sign, right? And Aries sign is connected to being the messenger of greed, which that lets you know that, they always tell you don't be greedy, right? That is one of the 7 deadly sins, which is really what, it's many sins, but yeah, but that is one of them as well, being greedy. But that's one of the most um worse sins outside of abuse, right? Like sexual abuse and all that kind of stuff. But greed. And that's why the ancestors attach that to the law of cause and effect, because if you're greedy and you do something that is that shows that greed, which is a low vibrational action, right? Then you will get that tenfold back, right? Of being greedy. You may not, it's going to cause you to have an effect on your life in reference of greed in a negative way. So that is also attached to my Aries. So Aries, if they're out of alignment, they may be greedy. Okay. If Aries is out of alignment, it's many things that can go with Aries. Well, Aries is a fire sign, so what's the adverse to that would be, a go getter, get up and go. They, all their fiery, passionate energy, right? But on the other side of that is being lazy. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes even being biased. But if they're in alignment, then they're powerful, especially using their throat chakra, speaking, being able to speak things into existence, having the gift of discernment when it comes to our Aries, especially having the gift of discernment is definitely something that's highlighted, because that's definitely going to allow you to be able to continue to raise your vibrations and cause great things in your life. So your effect and your karma will be good. Okay, so that is how the law of cause and effect is highlighted in reference of the laws, the universal laws. Now, moving into our eighth universal law, which is law of compensation. All right. So law of compensation. We all know this one, love this one, right? But it comes with a price as well. So, with all the laws, that's why you're supposed to follow all the rules, all the governing rules, which is the universal laws, which are principles that we should live by. Okay. The law of compensation, family, is you get as good as you give. All right. Um, Another way, I always like to give you multiple, things and ways people look at these laws. But another way of the law of compensation, it relates closely to the law of attraction. Because yes, what you put out and what you want to give, is basically what you want to attract. So it's the same as the law of attract. The law of compensation goes back to you reap what you sow. So the main takeaway in that law is what it is, right? Your efforts will always come back to you positively. And if you put out negatively things, then you won't get compensated for it. If you're seeking something, you want to contribute to it in a positive way, right? So that can come not only in reference to finances, but love and support and things like that as well. Okay. So these are the things that you need to know around the law of compensation. But not only that, what it contains, what it is attached to in reference of the spiritual astrology, is that the law of compensations is connected and attached to the sign of Leo. Okay, and that is the law of compensation. So my Leos is all about that love, is all about the reward of love and support for my Leos. But what gives to others should be given to you. So it's a reciprocation. It's the six of coins. It's the give and the take, right? It's the, you give so you can, receive. And the ancestor said, and it's what you without from others should be withheld from you. All right. So you have to know that the law of compensation is definitely about, you being able to conquer in any battles in reference of my Leos, because they're very upstanding warrior type energy. And the battlefield is what they've been on, so they must be rewarded for the things that they've been through, right? As well as any other signs as well. But this is in reference of the law of compensation, in reference of who the spiritual astrology we're attaching with it. When the Leos are in alignment, they are the messenger of love. And when they're out of alignment, they're not the messengers of love, right? So the Leos definitely have a gift when it comes to root chakra. Okay, good discernment, good judgment when they're in alignment. Okay, and definitely having gifts. And if they're not in alignment, they don't have good judgment. There's no compassion, there's no love, there's no rewards for them, and they don't reward others when they're out of alignment. So that goes tenfold. But the main thing you need to know about the law of compensation is wrapped up in love, because what do you feel when you get compensated for something that you do? You feel the love, right? And so it is. And also the rewards, right? But you got to be ready and able to give that to receive. All right. So that is what the law of compensation is. And Leo is attached to that, as well as the law of cause and effect is attached to Aries. All right. So get ready for those energy readings on the channel, and I will see you guys in the next Universal Laws with the Spiritual Astrology. Peace.